Round 2 begins with blue leading 1-0. The red player is out for blood this round, I believe. Attempting body kicks and head kicks. Chased out of the ring by blue. Watch closely, folks. If you blink your eyes, you're going to miss the technique. These fighters are extremely fast on their feet and with their feet. It's very exciting being ringside. Even though these two competitors are small in stature, their kicks are extremely powerful, as was just evidenced. I would hate to feel what a kick to the head would do. About a minute and a half gone in the second round, with a score still 1-0 blue. Action has slowed down a little bit. Oh, a beautiful face kick by the blue player. Beautiful, and that was scored. We now have a 2-0 fight with blue leading with a beautiful axe kick to the face. Now red knows he has to get that point back, so he's building momentum. But he still does not want to make a mistake. The blue player right now is guarding his lead, being patient, defensive fighting. And the red player is determined to score, determined to get some points this round. Second warning for Chung, which will be a point deduction for going out of bounds. Changes the complexion of this second round somewhat. If the red player were to score a point here, he would essentially even the match out. Beautiful underkick by blue, no point awarded. Once again, red is attempting those head kicks. That's the kick he knows that will bring the points. Kicking to the face and the head is really important in Taekwondo. And we end the second round with a 2-0 score for blue. However, blue does have a minus point because of 2 warnings. Third round action. Finweight, flyweight division. We're joined once again by Steve Kapner. Steve, could you tell us who these two players are by name?
Yeah, this is Park Chae-sung is the red player, and So Sung-gyo is the blue player. They're teammates on the same university team, Korean National Physical Education College. They practice together every day, but So Sung-gyo has had one-time national team experience, and it seems like his experience is paid off by the score of this match.
And once again, the blue player's name is
So Sung-gyo.
The point total says 2-0 for blue. However, blue also has a 1-point deduction. So in reality, Steve, the score is now 1-0.
But still, even so, red would have to score 2 points in order to win, because they go by the total number of points scored. In other words, if one player has 2 points and one player has 1 point, and the player with 2 points has 1 point deducted, he will still win because he scored more total points.
I see. Axe kick try by the red player. He knows he's in a desperate situation, Steve. He needs to essentially score 2 points, which is virtually impossible.
At this point, right, at this point, it's not going to happen. Although that was a very, very close try. It looks like Seo Sung-gyo, I believe Seo Sung-gyo is going to be the Olympic representative for Korea.
That would be in the flyweight division.
In the flyweight division, right. Of course, the competition isn't over yet, but I predict he's going to beat the Army player.
One thing I am conscious of is the fact that these players, even though there's several in each division playing today, they are so close in Korea from, say, first to third. Unlike the United States, where you see a little more distinguished between our first place and our second and third place players.
If you make the final 4 of the Korean national team selection process, there's very little difference.
Started the first round of a featherweight competition between Kim Byung-chul in the blue and Nam Hak-hyun in the red. Both of these players are from the Sangmu or Army team. Therefore, we have no coaches in the coaching chair. They're essentially coaching themselves today. What do you see this fight evolving into, Steve?
Well, they're both on the Army team, and I'm not familiar with the red player, with Mr. Nam, but I've known Kim Byung-chul for quite a while, and like I said, he's wanted this A-team position for quite a few years, and he's worked really hard. He's got a very good work ethic. He's a very disciplined player. You can see, though, he's not kicking. They've obviously decided to make this a demonstration game. They're not fighting with intensity, so I predict that Nam will let Kim Byung-chul win, and you can see he's already allowed him 3 points. It's not a real game. It's a demonstration game. So Kim Byung-chul has already been picked by the coach to move on.
So in a situation like this, the player that is allowing his teammate to win basically has to finish the fight. In other words, they don't bow out like you see in the United States. Not
necessarily. They may finish it after this first round. They may fight one symbolic round, and then the referee will announce a winner. But the coach has obviously chosen Kim Byung-chul as having the better chance to make the national team, so he'll progress. I don't think they'll make him, and obviously they're not going to make him work hard or take the risk of suffering an injury. That wouldn't make any sense.
Very interesting. The Army team does seem to have a strong contingency at these games today.
Stronger than they have had in the last 5 years that I can recall. Part of that is because recently a lot of competitors have decided to continue competing after college, after university, and one of their options is to go into the Army team. You know, Army service is compulsory in Korea, a 3-year period of Army service, and service as an athlete on the Sangmu Army team is vastly preferable to carrying a rifle and marching.
What better way to spend your Army career than playing Taekwondo and traveling the world to represent your country?
You can see Kim Byung-chul is pulling his kicks. This game is just for the sake of
keeping warm, maybe keeping the blood flowing, keeping timing.
11 경기를 알려드리겠습니다. 11일 경기는 29번부터 마지막 번까지 개최는
You may want to, well,
경희대학교 권태호 선수.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Moranti here with Steve Kapner at the Kukkiwon in Seoul, Korea for the second day of the Olympic team trials for the Korean national team. We're watching a flyweight division match between Jin Sung-tae in the blue and Im Chang-suk in the red. How are you today, Steve?
Good, Scott. I had a good night's sleep and I feel great.
So what are we going to look for today, Steve, in these bouts as compared to yesterday?
Well, we've got some people who have a win from yesterday and some people who have a loss. The people who are down today will, if they lose one more match, they're out of it for good. So I expect to see some high energy matches today, a lot of action, especially from the people who have lost yesterday, because they've got nothing else to lose. It's a do or die situation for the people with one loss coming from yesterday.
Now the match we're watching is between an Army player and the player in the blue is from what school?
It's from the Korean National College of Physical Education.
The blue player looks a little younger than the red player. Red player is now in the Army, out of school. Blue player is a college student, in other words.
That's right, and the blue player, I believe, is only a freshman or a sophomore. This is the first time I've seen him at a team trial game.
Looks like we have a 1-0 score for blue. And another warning to the blue player.
The blue player, Jin Sung-tae, hurt his leg yesterday quite seriously in his first match, and he looks a little weak. You can see him limp on it. That's why he's giving up so much ground to the Army player.
That was a nice exchange at the end of the round there. About ready to begin the second round of this flyweight division fight here in Seoul, Korea at the Kukkiwon. Blue player, hey, 1-0. Steve, have these two fought in the past before, do you know?
I'm sure they have. I've never seen them fight before, but most of these players have fought each other at one time or another, either in high school or college time.
Both players are leading with their lead leg, trying to do the push kick, set up the opponent.
That's the safest way to lead. Anytime you kick with your back leg, you've committed yourself, and there's always a chance of being countered. The lead leg is a...
Blue player just scored another big point. That was a loud point. They were looking for that sound, aren't they, Steve, on the Hogu?
You can definitely tell a quality point. The red player connected, but you can see that it didn't make the same noise. It didn't displace the opponent's body, and therefore it wasn't awarded a point.
Like a cat and mouse game, isn't it? Like a mouse trying to get the cheese out of the trap. Who is the faster player?
The blue player definitely, Shin Sung-tae definitely is waiting for Red to make a mistake, and Red's made a couple. He's got an aggressive attacking style, but he spins a lot, and Blue seems to know. Blue seems to be able to make him do what he wants. He's drawn him into a back kick twice, and he's drawn him into the counter roundhouse kick twice.
Red player was just given a warning.
Those are the students of the Korean College of Physical Education giving some moral support to their teammate, Shin Sung-tae. The score at the end of 2 rounds is Shin Sung-tae, the blue contestant, has 2 points, but he also has 4 deductions, which means 2 minus points. The red player, Im Chang-sup, hasn't scored a point, but he's received 2 warnings, which means a 1-point deduction. Therefore, the score translates actually to Shin Sung-tae having a 1-point advantage by virtue of deductions. You can see a little bit of desperation now in Im Chang-sup, the red player's attack. He can feel this game slipping away. He needs to score 2 points in this round to win. And Shin Sung-tae, the blue contestant, is just going to keep kicking. As soon as Im Chang-sup moves, he's going to kick. He's trying to kill time now, too. Shin Sung-tae is trying to run that clock down.
beautiful trap back kick by the red player. Can he pull it out in these last 30 seconds of this match?
That's how he won yesterday against another contestant from the Korean Physical Education College. He scored a point in the last 30 seconds of the third round.
We're winding it down with 19 seconds, 17 seconds. Blue players trying to stay away, red players trying to catch him. You could interpret the scoreboard for us, Steve, at this point a little bit.
Well, Blue received 2 additional warnings in that round, which means another full point deduction. But as I said, Red needed 2 points to overcome all the deductions, and this, as well as the point deficit. So the score literally is nothing to nothing, but Blue scored more points overall, so Blue will be declared the winner.
For our next match of the day, we have a featherweight bout between Kang Chang-mo from Kyunghee University in the red and Kwon Tae-ho from Dong-ae University in the blue. Featherweight match.
These two were teammates in high school. They graduated from the same high school. Kang Chang-mo, the red contestant, is a couple of years senior to Kwon Tae-ho. Kang Chang-mo was the 1987 Flyweight champion, world champion. Kwon Tae-ho was the 1988 Olympic Finweight champion and the 1989 Finweight world champion. Again, Kwon Tae-ho is a natural bantamweight, and Kang Chang-mo is a natural featherweight. So I expect there to be a power difference here. But Kang Chang-mo will definitely have a power advantage. This will be a difficult game for Kwon Tae-ho to win.
What's going through their minds right now when they're in that crab-like stance and their eyes are intent? They're looking, looks like they're looking at each other's chests.
Actually, some players watch the hips of the other player, because it's easy to fake somebody with your head, your shoulders, and your feet. You can move those without really committing yourself, but when your hips change, that generally means you've committed yourself to something. It's hard to say what they're thinking. I mean, every player has a different way of dealing psychologically with the pressure of being in this kind of competition.
Beautiful roundhouse kick by the red player. Should be a point.
Actually, they've scored them both, given them both points, calling that an exchange.
다시 한번 알려드립니다. 아시아 선수분대회에 참가했던 선수 임원들에게 알려드립니다. 선수 임원들은 11시 30분에 대단식이 있을 예정입니다. 선수들은 도복을 착용하시고 준비해 주시고 표창식에 참가하실 예정자들도 준비해 주시기 바랍니다.
Little leg check there by the blue player. We're winding down the first round. It's been a feeling out round. I imagine the second and third round will be a little more heated.
Well, both of these contestants respect each other. They're both world-class players. They've both been world champion, and they both got their advantages. Kwon Tae-ho usually has a much more aggressive game style, but you can see he respects Kang Chang-mo, the red contestant's power and technique. Kang Chang-mo is one of the most, both of these players are two of the most intense competitors in the Korean national team circuit.
Second round action, featherweight division. Kang Chang-mo from Kyunghee University and Kwon Tae-ho from Dong-ae University.
Kwon Tae-ho just snuck that back kick in and scored a point on Kang Chang-mo. And you'll see Kang Chang-mo work hard to get that point back.
It's an interesting contrast between the U.S. players and the Korean players. Seems in the U.S. there's a lot more movement, bouncing, dancing. Yet here, they stay in a stationary stance, move their feet with their toes a little bit, and then all of a sudden an explosive burst will take place.
Well, they have to economize, because any extra motion that creates a disadvantage in your distance could mean losing a point or getting hurt even. All these players have the ability to score at any time with either leg, and some useless or not well thought out motions by either side that can mean the match. So you'll see them economize their motions unless there's a big difference in the score or it happens to be their particular game style to try and win by what we call attrition, just kicking so many times that even though you'll give up a point or two, you'll score 2 or 3 points yourself.
It's obvious the red player is attempting to take the fight to the blue player.
He definitely feels the loss of that point. I mean, that 1 point is a big gap in the Korean national game, especially in these final championships, because the players, if they want to, they know how to cover up and not give away a point. That should be another point for blue. Nope.
They didn't give it to him.
Well, the reason may be that his leg was too deep across the body armor, that he didn't kick with the top of the foot. This is a really clean game. Both of these players have very clean styles.
We're winding down the second round here at the featherweight division, Kukiwan, where the blue player has a 2-1 advantage. Very impressed with this electronic scoring, Steve. I've been watching the United States, and I have not seen this style of scoring before. And I personally feel it's a definite plus to the game of Taekwondo.
Oh, it's the direction that Taekwondo had to go. I mean, instant publication of the score is one way to that should be a point for both sides, yes, and they did score both those kicks. Instant publication of the score is one way to reduce the human error factor in scoring. Any sport you have that has the human being judging on a subjective scale, there's always going to be problems. But when you make those points instantly available to the spectators, that was another point for Kang Chang-mo, so it's a tie game now.
With 2 minutes left in the match.
Anytime you make those points immediately available, then it's very easy to establish a criterion for scoring for the competitors and for the spectators. So it was definitely a developmental thing for Taekwondo. This makes it a do-or-die situation for Quantejo because he has lost both the first and second round on superiority. If this game comes down to a referee's judgment of superiority, in other words, if it's a tie score at the end, Quantejo will lose, so he needs to score a point in the next minute and a half.
Very powerful kickers for their size. Oh, beautiful roundhouse kick. Will they score it?
No.
Nice exchange.
No, it was Kang Chang-mo got a little bit of his arm in between that leg and his body protector.
Just missed on the back kick, Blue.
And he's looking, Quantejo's looking to see if they've scored any of his kicks, but they haven't. Now you'll see him turn it up. Kang Chang-mo will do that right there. He'll just try and close the gap and keep Quantejo from putting his foot on the body armor. There's a point. That's a point for Blue.
Beautiful.
That could be the game right there. That's it. The game's over. He stole the game in the last 20 seconds.
An exciting featherweight match. Okay, who's next?
I don't know where he is now.
Steve, we're about to see a welterweight fight. Can you give us the names of these players and maybe a little idea of where they're from?
Well, the red player, Ha Tae-kyung, just graduated this year from the Korean National College of Physical Education. He was the Olympic flyweight gold medalist in 1988 and the World Cup champion last year at featherweight. Now he's all the way up to welterweight, and that's due to the fact that Korea is only sending 4 divisions to the Olympics. Flyweight, featherweight, welterweight, and heavyweight. And Ha Tae-kyung has grown out of that featherweight division. His opponent, Im Young-ho, is from Kyung University. He's very tall in the welterweight division, something that is going to give Ha Tae-kyung a problem.
That was an amazing spinning kick. The balance of these players and their ability to kick off either leg from any position is simply amazing.
Ha Tae-kyung is a very acrobatic, athletic young man. He can kick with either leg with great power. And he's a good jumper.
They're loosening up in the first round of our welterweight fight. I feel the electricity in the air today much more so than we did yesterday.
Today is much more intense. It's true. You can feel it in not only in the players but in the spectators. Today, everything's decided today.
선수들은 도복을 준비하시고 대기해 주시기 바랍니다.
Had an axe kick by the red player with try by the blue player to counter with a hook kick. I'm a little familiar with Ha Tae-kyung. We covered him at the United States Open Taekwondo Championships in February in Colorado Springs, where he defeated Marcello from Italy in the final match. Beautiful back kick. Beautiful back kick.
That should be a point.
1 point for red.
Yeah, red.
Very nice.
You see how he set the blue player back. He stopped his forward momentum, and that's the same as displacing somebody's weight.
And that is definitely a criteria the judges are looking for here today.
Definitely. if you stop an advancing opponent's forward momentum, it's the same thing as displacing a standing, a motionless opponent back. It's the same theory.
And we're at the end of the first round. An exciting. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Scott Moranti here with Steve Kapner at the Kukiwon, home of Taekwondo. And we're here at the Korean Olympic team trials, where we're waiting for the second round to begin in the welterweight division between two amazing players. Red is Ha-tae Kyung and blue is Im Young-oh. Even 1 point down, Steve. It could be anybody's fight.
Oh, sure. There's 2 rounds left. 1 point isn't a big gap to close. But as this fight goes on, I think the advantage will be Ha-tae Kyung's. He's a very smart player, and he has a tendency to figure out people's game styles very quickly. I don't know that he's ever fought with Im Young-ho before or not, because he's fairly new to the welterweight division, but he's a very, very adaptable player. He can absorb somebody's style very quickly within the span of one round.
Oh, they gave blue the point on the counter kick. The red player attempted a back kick. Oh, another kick to the body. Will they give him a point?
No, it was too deep. The scoring portion of the foot, which is the instep, didn't make clean contact with the body protector.
In the blink of an eye, it can change.
Sudden death, it can go back or forth, like you said, literally in the blink of an eye.
Feeling each other's distance out. I notice they're using their toes a lot to shorten their distance between each other or lengthen it. It's very interesting. Almost a point for blue, but not quite there. And red was just a fraction off on his counterattack, wasn't he?
The Korean players are very, very good at covering up that scoring band, that colored scoring band on the body protector. They just lay their forearm across it, and their forearms are padded with a foam forearm guard, and it kills the sound. It takes the sound and kills the impact. So even if you get a make contact, if that forearm's laid square across the scoring band, it's difficult to get the sound and the impact that you want to score a point.
Less than 20 seconds left in this exciting welterweight bout. We have a tie score, 1-1. I think it's gonna make for an exciting third round, Steve.
Split superiority. First round he gave to take him, second round to this guy. So it's a perfectly tied game.
Well, Steve, we're in the third round of this very important welterweight fight between Ha-tae Kyung and Im Young-oh. I noticed you walked over and saw what the superiority score was.
I noticed the referee just came back and awarded Im Young-ho, after a brief conference with the judges, they awarded Im Young-ho another point in that round, apparently for that lead leg roundhouse kick. That changes the complexion of this match, obviously, because that puts Ha-Tae Kyung, puts Ha-Tae Kyung down by a point. So he not only needs to score a point, but he needs to do it in good fashion, in impressive fashion, so that he can get superiority as well in this round. Superiority means show the center referee some superior ring generalship, a superior ring management, just a very aggressive game style.
2 minutes left in the bout. So basically, Steve, Red is looking to score a point and attain superiority for this third round in order to pull the match out.
He has to score a point, and ideally it would be a face point, because that would give him the advantage. There it is. That's the point he needed right there.
Beautiful round kick. Beautiful round kick off the line.
He caught Im Young-ho switching his stance. And that's Ha-Tae Kyung's advantage, even in this heavier division, is his speed.
He's got an amazing spinning ability, doesn't he? His balance must be excellent.
He's a great spinner with both legs.
30 seconds left. I expect it'll be a hard-fought 30 seconds. Both players know the importance of this match. Winding down, Steve. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That's it. Who pulled it out? Who pulled it out?
It's up to the referee, because the score is perfectly tied. The referee will decide this match.
From the response from the crowd, Steve, what does it tell us?
Well, the referee gave superiority in that round to Ha-Tae Kyung, and that means Ha-Tae Kyung's the winner.
Well, I take my hat off to both gentlemen. They both fought
excellent. That means it looks like
bout.
Ha-Tae Kyung will be going to the Olympics. He has to fight one more game, I believe, but that was the person he had to beat in that division. You don't want this.
Try to find Steve. Don't announce this. Don't announce it.
Yeah, I will. Well, there he is. Here he comes. Here with Steve Kapner at the final of the Flyweight division men's. In the red is Im Chong-sup, and in the blue is...
The blue player is Ho Sung-gyo from the Korean College of Physical Education. That was a great right leg. That should be a point. Yep, there it is.
Spell his name for me, Steve. The blue player is So Sung-kyo. Very exciting first round, Steve. This one's for all the monies.
Well, the red player, Im Chang-sup, has one loss, and the blue player doesn't. The blue player is undefeated. So if blue wins this, that's it. He becomes the Olympic flyweight representative.
So in other words, blue is in a better driver's seat for this bout. He has to lose twice to actually be eliminated.
I'm not sure if that's the situation or not. It depends on who red lost to. If red lost to somebody that blue beat, I believe that means that even if blue loses, I'm not sure, Scott. I'll have to check the round robin system.
Very nice, very nice. The blue player is attempting those lead roundhouse kicks, and the red is drawing him in with the back kick. It's the Army versus the college. It looks like the intensity's been turned up a couple notches on these fights now because we're getting down to the final selection.
This last round will definitely be hot. Every game will be just like this. Very fiercely fought.
And the end of the first round of the flyweight match, which may be a flyweight final, as a matter of fact, between Im Chang-sup in the red team versus So Sung-kyo from the National College of Physical Education here in Korea. We have a 2-1 score. 2-1 score with blue in the lead. A little referees conference here, Steve. What is going on here?
Well, there was one exchange in the first round. Red attacked directly to the stomach with back leg roundhouse kick, and blue attacked red with roundhouse kick, and red countered it. Personally, I thought there should have been 1 point scored each in that exchange, and that's exactly what the referee just indicated, that each player will be awarded 1 more point each.
We have a lot of excitement here in the gym today. You can see the different contingencies cheering their people on, their athletes on, giving them encouragement. Being a past player yourself, what does the crowd do to you, Steve? Do you hear the crowd when you're out there?
Well, if you're a team player, I think it definitely helps. Taekwondo is, when it comes down to the match itself, it's one person against one person, but definitely those people that helped you prepare, they mean something to you. And you're fighting for them as well as for yourself. In that respect, I'm sure that their encouragement and their support is valuable.
The referee just gave Red a warning for falling down. He attempted the back kick, again off the roundhouse. I can see the look of determination in both players' eyes. It seems though that the flow of the match might be leaning a little towards blue. He looks a little looser. A lot of pushing and grabbing, trying to intimidate the opponent.
So Sung-kyo, the blue player, is young. He's a sophomore this year, and he's very motivated to make the national team. He's missed it 2 times in the finals by the narrowest of margins, and he believes, as well as a lot of other people I've spoke to, that this is his chance. There's another point for blue. That roundhouse kick is beating the back kick. It's just too fast.
He's taken the red player to the races, and he's winning the race. We have a 4-2 score halfway through the second round of this flyweight final match.
In all of So Sung-kyo's matches, he has a very high point output. He always scores a lot of points, and that's because he throws a lot of kicks, and his percentages are very good. If you watch His output is tremendous. He kicks 20, 30, 40 times per round.
Minute left. Taking a little bit of a breather. Trying to see what they can do. Oh, beautiful counter roundhouse kick by Blue. Well, they did award him the point. Blue is...
See, it's only the second round, and he's already scored 5 points.
He's slowly pulling away.
With this round almost over, 3 points to make up is a tremendous gap. So one of So Sung-gyo, the blue contestant's weak points, in my opinion, is when he gets a large advantage in the score, he tends to become very defensive, and he uses the boundaries of the ring and some other techniques to kill the clock. And he's not a great player to watch in the third round. Let's hope that he keeps the intensity up in this game, being as it is an Olympic trial final.
Hello again, I'm Scott Moranti with Steve Kapner. We're at the Kukiwon, home of Korean Taekwondo, home of World Taekwondo. And we're observing the third round, the Flyweight final for the Olympic trials. The winner has a plane ticket to Barcelona, Spain. The blue player, Steve, has got basically a 3-point lead right now. He's going to play a run game, maybe, huh?
Well, that's what I've seen from him in the past. But like I said, he's wanted this national team position for a long time, and hopefully he's going to try and finish strong in this game. He's an incredibly talented player. He can do very acrobatic techniques with both legs, and he could make this a very exciting finish if he wants to. It looks like he's going to stay
beautiful
engaged.
Double kick. Beautiful double kick. He is definitely into the head of the red player. No point on that one, however. Just a little example of the spinning acrobatic talent of both players. Try to head kick. Oh, he beat the back kick again. Very, very sharp roundhouse kicking. And we have a 6-2 game. Virtually, it's impossible for Red to win
at this point. There's no chance without a knockout or an injury.
Beautiful rear leg roundhouse kick. Full point deduction from the red player. He attacked.
Timeout.
Basically what happened there, Steve? You want to describe that little series there?
Well, after the face kick, the blue player thought that the referee had called for a break in the action, and that's usually the case after one player leaves the boundaries like that. But again, that's one of So Sung-gyo's bad habits in his game style, that when he makes a good technique, especially a face kick, he has a tendency to disengage and turn his back. It happened to him in an earlier game as well. And
He definitely got his bell rung on
The
that
red
one.
players, if he doesn't hear the referee's declaration of break, he's within his rights to kick in that situation.
Well, the old adage, protect yourself at all times, has got to be a first priority for the players. And in this situation, Steve, if the blue player would have been incapacitated to continue the match, what would have transpired?
Then, because the injury was the result of an illegal technique, in other words, kicking after the declaration of break by the referee, then blue would have been declared the winner.
I see, and we have 20 seconds left in the match, 7-3 blue. It's a good day for blue.
It's one of the best matches I've seen So Sung-gyo fight. Like I said, usually in the third round, if he has a large lead, he tends to just kill time, but he's showed the kind of intensity all the way to the end that he's going to need in his international debut on the Olympic team.
And we're done with the flyweight division. The final, the winner is blue, Seo Sung-kyo.